Good afternoon. I'm Haylee Ficuciello with Englebrook Independent News. Today, we're going to discuss a lawsuit that on its face is about privacy, but beneath the legal argument lies a much larger debate, one about accountability, transparency, and where the line should be drawn between protecting personal information and ensuring taxpayer-funded programs are properly administrated. New Jersey Attorney General Jennifer Davenport has joined a coalition of states challenging the Trump administration over new federal policies involving the Temporary Assistance for Needy Families program, commonly known as TANF. The lawsuit argues that the administration policy unlawfully expands federal access to sensitive information collected by states and violates several federal statutes governing privacy and administrative procedures. Those are serious legal claims, and ultimately a federal judge, not politicians and certainly not commentators like me, will decide whether those claims have merit. But beyond the courtroom, there are important questions every taxpayer should be asking. Let's begin with what isn't a dispute. TANF exists to help families in genuine need. The program provides billions of dollars annually to states to assist low-income families with children, and in New Jersey, it supports thousands of residents through Work First New Jersey. No reasonable person wants to see eligible families denied lawful assistance. Likewise, no reasonable person wants to see sensitive personal information exposed unnecessarily. Privacy matters. Congress recognized that when it created safeguards governing how recipients' information may be collected, stored, and shared. If those safeguards are being violated, the court should absolutely say so. This is how our constitutional system works. But here's where another legitimate question enters the discussion. The Trump administration has made no secret of its broader goal to increase oversight of federally funded benefit program and strengthening immigration enforcement. Administration officials have argued that the greater coordination among federal agencies can improve program integrity, verifying eligibility, requirement established by law, and identifying fraud when it exists. Whether one agrees with those objectives or not, they represent a legitimate public policy position. After all, these are taxpayer-funded programs. Americans have every right to expect what benefits go to individuals who qualify under the law. That isn't a controversial statement. It's a basic accountability. The lawsuit argues that the federal law assistant eligibility determinations primarily to the state, and that Congress did not authorize the kind of broad data sharing contemplated by the administration's new policy. Those legal arguments deserve careful consideration, but they also raise another question. If Congress has established eligibility requirements and the federal government provides the funding, what level of oversight is appropriate to ensure those requirements are actually being followed? And that's not an easy question. It's one that courts may ultimately help answer. There's another important distinction that shouldn't be overlooked. Protecting privacy and promoting accountability are not mutually exclusive goals. A government can and should protect confidential information while also ensuring public funds are administered lawfully. The challenge is finding the proper legal balance. That balance is exactly why this lawsuit asks that federal courts to examine. Now, it's important to be fair. Some supporters of the lawsuit worry about expanding federal access to sensitive records could discourage eligible families from seeking assistance or erode trust between state agencies and vulnerable communities. Those concerns deserve to be heard. If lawful recipients fear their information will be misused, that could have real consequences. Those are not trivial issues. On the other hand, supporters of the administration raises concerns that deserve equal consideration. They argue that effective oversight is difficult if agencies responsible for enforcing federal law cannot access information that Congress has authorized them to review. They maintain that preventing fraud, protecting taxpayer dollars, and ensuring ensuring compliance with eligible requirements are essential responsible of government. Whether the administration's specific policy complies with existing law is precisely the issue now before the federal court. One thing I think is especially important is separating documented facts from political speculations. The complaint filed by the state focuses on privacy law, administration law, constitutional principles, and the scope of federal authority. It does not allege that in this case it's connected to any specific political controversy in New Jersey. Likewise, nothing in Attorney General's press release attributes political motivates to the Trump administration beyond disagreeing with its policy. As a journalist, our responsibility is to report what the records support, not what social media politically activists or partisan may speculate. That distinction matters. So where does this leave us? In my opinion, this lawsuit represents more than a disagreement over paperwork or government databases. It reflects the broader philosophical debate about the proper relationship between Washington and the states. How much authority should the federal government have on programs it helps fund? How much privacy should recipients reasonably expect? How can taxpayer dollars be protected while respecting the legal safeguard Congress enacted? Those are legitimate questions. Reasonable Americans can and undoubtedly will reach different conclusions. As this case moves through federal court, I hope the focus remains where it belongs, not on political rhetoric, not on assumptions that motivates, but on the law. If the administration exceeds the authority Congress granted, the court should say so. If the administration acts within that authority, the court should say that as well. Either outcome should be based on the Constitution, the statutes enacted by Congress, and the evidence presented by the court, not politics. Whatever the final ruling, this case will likely shape future debates over privacy, immigration enforcement, federal oversight, and public assistance program for years to come. It's a case worth watching, not simply because politics surround it, but because the legal question it raises and the precedent it may establish. We'll continue following the litigation as it moves through the federal court and bring you the facts every step of the way. I'm Haylee Ficuciello, Senior Correspondent for Englebrook Independent News. Thank you for watching and have a great rest of your day.